Monday night meltdown. Hi again, everyone, and welcome into Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien of BengalsTalk.com, where the Bengals, well, they sucked tonight. Let's be honest. That's exactly what it was. This Bengals team awful in a 28-3 loss to the Denver Broncos here at Empower Stadium at Mile High. And look, there's going to be so much fallout from this game and what it means following last week's loss. And I think that's where I do want to start, is after last week, the 5 turnovers, 2 touchdowns that go the other way on those turnovers, and you just donate points, and it's the worst loss in franchise history. I was willing to look and put that aside and say, all right, let's take a second here and understand that Jake Browning has been in this situation before. Zac Taylor's been in this situation before. They still have Jamar Chase. They still have T. Higgins. They still have pieces. I think Chase Brown can still play. I think this offensive line is going to be better than they were last week, and they were a little better. It's hard to be worse, right? And they're going to figure it out. And, well, they didn't. They got their butts whooped, and then whooped again, and then whooped again. And there's so many layers to this, but it starts here. They didn't look prepared. Their offense sucks. Like, their offense is so bad that it makes the Reds hitting look good. And the Reds, well, they're obviously in the playoffs, and I shouldn't take a shot at them, but they've been awful on offense and so inconsistent at the plate all season long. Well, what does that mean? That means that an offense that has all those weapons, that has Jamar Chase and has T. Higgins and has all these guys, that suddenly they can't move the ball consistently. I mean, it's unbelievable to think about. I'm going to read you some numbers from this 28-3 loss, and I have so many thoughts, but Jake Browning, 14 of 25 for $125. Quarterback rating 69.6. No turnovers, which I guess is the bright spot. T. Higgins led the way, 3 catches, 32 yards. Chase Brown, 3 catches, 31 yards. Jamar Chase led with 5 receptions, 23 yards. Andre had a catch. Andre Yosevich. Mitch Tinsley had a catch. Mike Gesicki had a catch. That's it. That's where it ends. And when you're talking about those type of numbers in this offense, it's unacceptable. It is completely unacceptable. I'll read you the total yards. 512 total yards for the Broncos, 159 total yards for your Cincinnati Bengals. That is awful. It's awful. And Zac Taylor after the game said, yeah, we're 2-2. We're facing some adversity. We got to respond the right way. Last week was the adversity. This was the week you were supposed to respond the right way. You were supposed to come out and set the standard. And my biggest issue with Zac tonight is not being aggressive, not going for it on 4th down. They just get points on their opening drive. They drive downfield, and it's a really nice opening drive, and they're driving downfield, and it's 3rd and 2, and you do a little fade ball to T. Higgins, and I don't really like that decision in that situation. You try to get the 1st down. You're at the 8-yard line of Denver, and you don't get it, and then you settle for the field goal, 26-yard field goal from Evan McPherson. Instantly, I was like, this doesn't feel good. You can't do that. That can't be your mindset. When the whole week has been, oh, well, we're going to rebound, and that wasn't us in Minnesota, and we're going to do. So, okay, do it. And part of doing it would be, we're going to march downfield, 4th and 2, doesn't matter, we're going to get it. Hey, offensive line, big guys, we're getting behind you. We have confidence. We're going to go get it. Chase Brown, go get it. Jake Browning, go get it. Someone go get it. And they didn't. They kicked. And then the defense gets a big stop. First stop of the year. First opening drive of the year where they don't give up a touchdown. And then the offense gets the ball back. And, yeah, it was not a false start on Ted. I think that was a bad call. And there were some bad calls by the officials tonight. But that's it. The offense flatlines and stinks up the joint. Punt, 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 punt. And, yeah, there was that call on Amarius Mims, the illegal formation, because he was a little off the line of scrimmage. It negated a 37-yarder to T. Higgins. The problem is, ladies and gentlemen, is that 37-yarder to T. Higgins is so memorable because they haven't had any of those type of downfield plays for 2 weeks. And that can't happen when you have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. And if it does happen, then that better mean that Andre Yosevich and Mike Gesicki and Chase Brown are just so involved and are so big in such a big part of the offense that it all smooths itself out. And that hasn't been the case. They've just been so bad. I need to get to the defense, and I will, I promise. But they've just been so bad on offense. I'm going to give you some numbers. They've been outscored 55-6 in the first half of their past 2 games. They've scored 13 points in 8 quarters with Jake Browning as their starting quarterback. This is the same offense that, and I've reminded you a lot over the past 5.5 minutes, they have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Like, they have dudes, like real guys. Better weapons. So they lose 28-3 tonight. The Bengals' weapons are better than the Broncos' weapons. Think about that. I'll say it again. Their weapons are better. A lot of people are going to talk about the offensive line, and Jake Browning was sacked 3 times. But guess what? It was 14-3 when Jake got sacked for the first time tonight. He had time. He had moments. The Mitch Tinsley, he threw one up to Mitch Tinsley, and Jamar Chase was wide open underneath where he was going to catch it and run. Easy first down, and you never know with Jamar. Maybe he breaks a tackle, and it becomes a huge play, from a good play to a huge play. But, man, is it frustrating. I thought Jake played poorly tonight. Thought the offensive line, overall, I think they gave the Bengals a chance. This is a really good defensive front. I thought the Bengals' offensive line was going to lose their matchup tonight. But the Bengals needed some of their skill guys to be in position and to get put in position to make plays. Zac Taylor didn't have them in position to do so. Jake Browning certainly didn't give them chances to do so. And, well, the Bengals are 2-2 on the season. We got to get to that defense. We'll do that coming up next. Think you know football? Well, the Sleeper app is perfect for you. You got to put your knowledge to the test with real money on the line with Sleeper. You download the Sleeper app and pick more or less on your favorite players, which right now with Jamar, with T, you might have to go the less route, but you choose 2 or more of your favorite players from pregame or live, and if they're going to have more or less than their projections, and boom, you can win up to 1,000 times your money if your picks win. Use promo code BengalsTalk, and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Again, that's promo code BengalsTalk for a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms apply, and make sure you see Sleeper's terms of use for details. All right, let's get to this defense that got a stop to open the game, and then after that it was touchdown, nearly touchdown. It ended up being a really good interception, touchdown. And that's it. I mean, there were a few bright spots. I think Demetrius Knight, obviously his interception was great, and he was around the ball. He was making plays, making tackles. Dax Hill, I thought the same thing. And, yeah, he gave up that touchdown to Cortland Sutton, but I thought that was a heck of a throw from Bo Nix. But not enough pressure. Could not get pressure on Bo Nix. Really struggled to tackle. Gave up the Broncos' first 100-yard rusher in J.K. Dobbins. It's the first time the Broncos have had a 100-yard rusher in 38 games. They had a 37-game streak that was going, and it ends right there at 37 games. This 38th game, they break it with J.K. Dobbins going over 100. And let me look here, because he was at like 102, and he ended up at 101. So it's just time and time again, this defense, to me, you're thinking, oh, well, it's getting away from him. And then Demetrius Knight goes and gets that interception. It's 14-3. He gets the interception. And this is where the offense could have helped out the defense some. And that's why it's really tough for me to be too critical of the defense, because they did get a stop here, a stop there, but they were on the field a ton. I don't think they're the discipline throughout the team, and this is definitely a reflection of Zac Taylor. The penalties, the communication, there were so many communication issues during this game, and certainly on defense, where it's like, oh, you go here, no, you go there. Just so many issues right now, and I think we saw that. I mean, 28 points to a Broncos team that honestly didn't feel like it had its foot on the gas in the second half, and it was fine. They could just coast like they did, and the 500+ total yards of offense, that's where it's painful, because you're on the field, and you're on the field, and you're on the field. And Bo Nix had some nice throws, but they left some plays out there too. My guy Troy Franklin, who I love pre-draft, he had a couple drops tonight where the Denver Broncos numbers could have been much bigger. But like the Marvin Mims end around, they send Marvin Mims in motion and throw it to him, and no one's over there to make a play. And it's just little things like that with this defense that are so maddening. And that's why they are where they are right now. I mean, they are a bad football team. And that's what they've been over the past couple of weeks. Will they turn it around? Can they turn it around? How could they turn it around? Well, those are things we can get into in the coming days. But, ladies and gentlemen, a awful, awful loss, an ugly loss, and there's going to be plenty of discussion this week about Zac Taylor, about how ready or not ready they are. Why in the world can this offense, will this offense ever be able to score again? I mean, 13 points in 2 weeks is insane. It should not happen. It cannot happen, and yet it did happen. They need to figure it out. We'll see if they will. Regardless, we're going to have you covered every step of the way. I'm James Rapien. This is Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Please hit that subscribe button. Ring the bell on YouTube. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts. And until next time, for Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Cincinnati Bengals Talk.